In the early 1970s, the hunt began for the right actors to bring Death Wish to life. Charles Bronson, already an established star, was a clear choice for the lead role of Paul Kersey, a man seeking vigilante justice. The film's producers found in Bronson an intensity and screen presence that perfectly matched the character's complex nature. For the role of Kersey's wife, Joanna, the filmmakers sought a talented and empathetic actress. Hope Lange, with her extensive stage and screen experience, was ultimately cast. Her ability to convey vulnerability and warmth made her the perfect choice for the ill-fated character. The role of Kersey's daughter, Carol, required an actress who could portray innocence and resilience. Kathleen Tolan, then a relative newcomer, won the part. Her natural charm and subtlety shone through during auditions, securing her the role. Vincent Gardenia, a seasoned character actor, was tapped to play Detective Frank Ochoa. Gardenia's talent for balancing toughness and humanity made him an ideal fit for the role of the dogged detective on Kersey's trail. During the casting process, the film's producers and director looked for chemistry not only between Bronson and Lange, but also between Bronson and the actors playing his on-screen friends and family. It was crucial that the audience believe in the bonds between these characters, making the stakes of the story all the more personal and powerful. One pivotal moment in the casting process came when Bronson and Gardenia met for the first time. Their initial chemistry test sizzled with tension and intrigue, foreshadowing the dynamic that would play out between their characters in the film. In the end, the cast of Death Wish proved to be a perfect fit, bringing to life a story that would resonate with audiences for decades to come. Each actor's unique talents and abilities contributed to the film's enduring impact, leaving a lasting mark on the world of cinema. The director of Death Wish, Michael Winner, brought a unique vision to this classic. He was known for his gritty and realistic style, which he developed through his work in British cinema. Winner's approach to the material was heavily influenced by the social and political climate of the 1970s. The movie reflects the growing concern about crime and violence in American cities during that time. Winner's creative influences included film noir and westerns, which is evident in the movie's visual style and themes. He used stark lighting and long shadows to create a sense of danger and tension. The film's protagonist, played by Charles Bronson, is a modern-day vigilante, a theme that is reminiscent of westerns. In terms of collaboration, Winner worked closely with the cast and crew to bring his vision to life. He had a reputation for being a demanding director, but he also knew how to get the best out of his actors. Bronson, in particular, had a close working relationship with Winner, having worked with him on several films before Death Wish. Winner's direction was not just about the visuals. He also paid close attention to the pacing and rhythm of the film. He knew how to build tension and create suspense, which is evident in the movie's many action sequences. The film's iconic opening sequence, for example, where Bronson's character is brutally attacked in his own home, is a testament to Winner's ability to create a sense of danger and vulnerability. In conclusion, Michael Winner's directorial vision was instrumental in bringing Death Wish to life. His gritty and realistic style, combined with his creative influences and close collaboration with the cast and crew, resulted in a classic film that continues to resonate with audiences today. Released in 1974, Death Wish is a classic film that has stood the test of time. Its enduring qualities, such as its exploration of vigilante justice and the urban experience, continue to resonate with audiences today. The movie tells the story of Paul Kersey, a man who turns to vigilantism after his family becomes the victim of a brutal home invasion. Throughout the film, Kersey grapples with the morality of his actions, raising questions about the effectiveness and ethics of taking the law into one's own hands. These themes have made Death Wish a timeless symbol of the industry, inspiring numerous sequels and remakes. Do you have a personal story of how Death Wish has impacted your life? Maybe it's the movie that inspired you to pursue a career in law enforcement, or perhaps it's a film that you and your family watch together every year. Whatever your connection to this classic, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. One interesting fact about Death Wish is that it was originally intended to be a serious drama, but test audiences found the film too disturbing. In response, the studio added humor to lighten the mood, resulting in the darkly comedic tone that the film is known for today. Another shocking fact is that the film's release was met with controversy and protest, with some critics arguing that it glorified violence and encouraged vigilantism. Despite this, Death Wish went on to become a massive hit at the box office, grossing over $22 million in its opening weekend. Of course, there are also sad facts about the film's production. For example, actor Jeff Goldblum was originally cast in the role of Jack Toby, but was replaced by Stephen Keats after filming had already begun. Goldblum has since spoken publicly about his disappointment at being let go from the project. As you can see, there are many fascinating stories and facts surrounding Death Wish. From its troubled production to its enduring legacy, this classic film continues to captivate audiences and inspire new generations of filmmakers. So whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer to the film, there's always something new to discover about Death Wish. In the early 1970s, the production of Death Wish began to take shape. The film's set design was crucial in establishing its gritty, urban atmosphere. Production designer Richard Silbert aimed to create a stark contrast between the safe, comfortable home of the main character, Paul Kersey, and the violent, chaotic streets of New York City. This was achieved through the use of warm, earthy tones in Kersey's home, and a cooler, more muted color palette in exterior scenes. Filming locations for Death Wish were carefully selected to further enhance this contrast. While some interior scenes were shot on soundstages in Los Angeles, many exterior shots were filmed on location in New York City. The film's opening sequence, for instance, was shot in the bustling neighborhood of Soho, where Kersey's wife and daughter fall victim to a brutal mugging. Other locations included Central Park, Times Square, and the iconic Brooklyn Bridge. Logistical challenges during the production of Death Wish were numerous. Filming in New York City presented unique difficulties, such as navigating crowded streets, obtaining permits, and dealing with unpredictable weather. Additionally, the film's subject matter, a civilian taking the law into his own hands, was controversial, leading to protests and calls for the production to be shut down. Despite these challenges, the film's crew employed innovative techniques to bring their vision to life. Cinematographer Arthur J. Ornitz made use of handheld cameras to capture a sense of realism and urgency in action scenes. The use of wide-angle lenses and natural lighting also contributed to the film's distinctive visual style. One notable scene in Death Wish involves Kersey practicing his marksmanship in a remote desert location. To achieve the desired effect of bullets hitting their targets in slow motion, the film's special effects team used a technique called bullet time. This involves setting up a series of still cameras in a circular formation around the target, then triggering them simultaneously to capture high-speed action from multiple angles. The resulting footage was then edited together to create a seamless, visually striking sequence. Overall, the production of Death Wish was marked by a combination of traditional filmmaking techniques and innovative approaches to cinematography and special effects. The film's striking visual style, gritty urban setting, and controversial subject matter helped it resonate with audiences and solidify its place as a classic of the crime thriller genre. In 1974, a groundbreaking film called Death Wish made its debut. This movie, directed by Michael Winner and based on Brian Garfield's novel of the same name, introduced audiences to a new kind of anti-hero. The protagonist, played by Charles Bronson, was a man who took the law into his own hands after his family became victims of a violent crime. The film was a product of its time, reflecting the fears and concerns of a society grappling with rising crime rates and a growing sense of urban decay. It sparked controversy and debate, with some praising its raw, unapologetic portrayal of vigilante justice, while others criticized its violent and nihilistic message. Despite the criticism, Death Wish was a commercial success and cemented Charles Bronson's status as an action star. The film's legacy can still be felt today, with its themes and ideas continuing to influence popular culture and inspiring numerous sequels and remakes. At the heart of Death Wish is a complex and morally ambiguous protagonist. The character, named Paul Kersey, is a man who has been pushed to the brink by a senseless act of violence. He is a man who has lost faith in the system and decides to take matters into his own hands. Bronson's portrayal of Kersey is both chilling and compelling. He is a man who is both victim and aggressor, a man who is driven by a desire for justice, but is also capable of great violence. It is a performance that is both nuanced and powerful, and it is one of the reasons why Death Wish continues to resonate with audiences today. The film's supporting cast is also noteworthy, with actors such as Vincent Gardenia and Stephen Keats delivering strong performances in their respective roles. The film's pacing is tight, and the tension builds steadily as Kersey's quest for justice escalates. Death Wish is a film that is not afraid to tackle difficult and controversial subjects. It is a film that challenges its audience to think about the nature of justice and the role of vigilantism in society. It is a film that is both thought-provoking and entertaining, and it is a classic that is worth revisiting. In conclusion, Death Wish is a groundbreaking film that continues to resonate with audiences today. Its complex and morally ambiguous protagonist, compelling performances, and thought-provoking themes make it a classic that is worth watching. Whether you are a fan of action films or just looking for a thought-provoking movie, Death Wish is definitely worth checking out. The creation of a film score and soundtrack is a crucial aspect of storytelling, and for the 1974 movie Death Wish, this was no exception. The music, composed by Herbie Hancock, plays a significant role in complementing the narrative and emotional tone of the film. Herbie Hancock, an accomplished jazz musician, brought his unique style to Death Wish. He created a score that is both intense and atmospheric, reflecting the film's themes of violence and vigilante justice. In an interview, Hancock stated, "I wanted the music to be a character in the film to add another layer of tension and unease." The soundtrack also features songs from popular artists of the time, such as The Man with the Horn by Hancock himself. These songs help to further establish the setting and tone of the film, taking viewers back to the gritty streets of 1970s New York City. The use of music in Death Wish is not only effective in creating tension and atmosphere, but also in highlighting the emotional journey of the main character, Paul Kersey, played by Charles Bronson. The score becomes more subdued during moments of introspection, allowing the audience to connect with Kersey's inner turmoil. Hancock's score, combined with the soundtrack's selection of songs, perfectly complements the narrative and emotional tone of Death Wish. The music serves to enhance the film's themes and story, making it an integral part of the viewing experience. Charles Bronson's agent, Paul Kohner, initially advised against him taking the lead role in this classic film due to the dangerous message it conveyed, and the fact that the vigilante character was originally portrayed as a mild-mannered accountant. However, the film eventually found its star in Bronson, who brought his signature toughness to the part. The movie's controversial subject matter led to its rejection by several studios who also struggled to cast someone in the vigilante role. Despite these challenges, the film ultimately found success and became a cultural touchstone. In the film, actress Olympia Dukakis played one of the cops at the precinct. In an interview, she recalled her experience working with the director, Michael Winner, who she described as difficult to work with. Despite this, Dukakis was able to complete her role in the film and move on to other projects. Overall, this classic film sparked controversy and conversation with its portrayal of vigilante justice, and it remains a notable entry in the careers of both Bronson and Dukakis. One of the most iconic scenes in Death Wish is when architect Paul Kersey, played by Charles Bronson, transforms into a vigilante. After his wife is murdered and daughter sexually assaulted, Kersey is broken. However, a trip to Arizona changes everything. In this scene, we see Kersey learning how to shoot from his host, Ames Jainchill, who says, "A man's got to protect his family." The direction by Michael Winner is tight, with close-ups of Bronson's face showing his character's internal struggle. Cinematographer Arthur J. Ornitz uses high-contrast lighting, casting long shadows that reflect Kersey's darkening worldview. Bronson's performance is powerful. His subtle changes in expression reveal Kersey's shift from pacifism to embracing violence as a necessity. According to Bronson, "I saw Death Wish as a serious study of a man who loved too much and was destroyed by it." This transformation impacts the audience deeply. It challenges our beliefs about justice and self-defense. As Winner stated, it's a film about a man who takes the law into his own hands, and people either love it or hate it. Another memorable scene is the subway sequence where Kersey first enacts vigilante justice. The dimly lit subway car, filled with threatening thugs, creates a tense atmosphere. When Kersey pulls out his gun, there's a palpable release of tension. This pivotal moment solidifies Kersey's new identity and sets the stage for the rest of the film. these scenes have resonated with audiences, making Death Wish a classic. They explore complex themes and offer thought-provoking commentary on societal issues, leaving a lasting impact on viewers. Contrary to popular belief, actor Al Lewis does not make an appearance in the movie Death Wish as the hotel guard. This information is incorrectly listed in his filmography. Charles Bronson, the lead actor in Death Wish, has starred in a few films outside of the film franchise that share a connection to the word death in the title. The Death Tree, released in 1962, is one such example. However, Death Hunt in 1981 and Messenger of Death in 1988 are the only ones that share the same ominous title as Death Wish. Olympia Dukakis, an accomplished actress, has shared the screen with Vincent Gardenia in two films, Death Wish and Moonstruck. Their on-screen chemistry transcended the boundaries of the films they worked on together. In summary, Death Wish has had a significant impact on the film industry, with its lead actor appearing in other films that share the same ominous title. Additionally, the movie has brought together talented actors in memorable roles. Released in 1974, Death Wish quickly resonated with audiences due to its provocative storyline and exploration of vigilante justice. The film, starring Charles Bronson, tells the tale of a man who takes the law into his own hands after his family becomes the victim of a brutal crime. The movie struck a chord with viewers who were grappling with rising crime rates and a growing sense of insecurity during that era. Audiences found themselves drawn to the protagonist's quest for justice, which struck a nerve in a society seeking to make sense of escalating violence. Death Wish left an indelible mark on popular culture, inspiring a slew of imitators and sequels. Its influence extended beyond cinema, seeping into literature, television, and music. The film's anti-hero archetype became a recurring theme in various media, reflecting society's fascination with vigilante justice. Moreover, the movie contributed to discussions on relevant social and cultural themes. It sparked debates about the role of law enforcement, the limits of self-defense, and the blurred lines between justice and vengeance. While some criticized the film for glorifying violence, others argued that it served as a commentary on the failings of the criminal justice system. Despite the controversy, Death Wish remains a significant cultural artifact. Its enduring appeal lies in its exploration of timeless themes and its reflection of societal anxieties. Even today, this classic continues to provoke thought and discussion, underscoring its enduring cultural and social impact. Initially, James Coburn was considered for the lead role in the movie. However, his salary expectations were too high for the producers, leading to the casting of Charles Bronson. Bronson and the film's director, Michael Winner, had a successful collaboration, working together on 6 films, including Chato's Land, The Mechanic, The Stone Killer, Death Wish Roman II, and Death Wish 3. The character Paul Kersey, played by Bronson, resides at 33 Riverside Doctor in New York City. The actual house used in the film is located on West 75th St. on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Many scenes were shot in and around this location, providing an authentic backdrop for the story. This classic film takes viewers on a journey through the streets of New York City, showcasing the city's unique charm and challenges during the 1970s. Released in 1974, Death Wish quickly became a talking point among critics and audiences alike. The movie, directed by Michael Winner and based on Brian Garfield's novel, tells the story of a man who turns into a vigilante after his family becomes the victim of a brutal crime. Critics were divided in their opinions. Vincent Canby of the New York Times criticized the film's fascination with violence, while Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times praised Charles Bronson's performance, stating that he doesn't act so much as he projects a mood. The film's graphic violence and exploration of vigilante justice sparked intense debates among viewers and critics. Despite the mixed reviews, Death Wish was a box office success, grossing over $22 million in the United States alone. Audiences were drawn to the film's gritty portrayal of urban crime and Bronson's stoic performance. The film received a nomination for a Golden Globe for Best Original Score, recognizing Herbie Hancock's contribution to the movie's atmosphere. While the film did not receive any major awards, its cultural impact was significant. The critical reception and awards for Death Wish reflect the film's ability to spark conversation and debate. Its exploration of vigilante justice and urban crime resonated with audiences, leading to its commercial success. The film's nomination for a Golden Globe highlights the impact of its score, which added to the movie's overall mood and tone. For those involved in the film, the critical reception and awards serve as a testament to the movie's cultural significance. While not universally praised by critics, Death Wish left a lasting impact on the crime genre and popular culture as a whole. In the original script of Death Wish, the killing in the subway station was meant to be kept off screen. However, the director, Michael Winner, decided to change this, resulting in a graphic and brutal scene. The filming conditions were far from ideal, with crew members complaining about their watering eyes freezing due to the cold weather. This led to them having to wear face masks during production. In the movie, Vincent Gardenia and Olympia Dukakis share a scene together in a squad room. Interestingly, they were later cast as husband and wife in the 1987 film Moonstruck. This classic film is filled with unexpected connections and details, making it a fascinating watch. The harsh weather conditions during the filming of Death Wish were certainly challenging, but they did not dampen the spirits of the cast and crew. Despite the cold, they persevered and created a memorable film that has stood the test of time. The brutal scene in the subway station, in particular, has left a lasting impact on audiences, making Death Wish a classic in the world of cinema. In the heat of 1974, the making of Death Wish was well underway. Directed by Michael Winner, this classic film noir brought together a talented cast and crew, each contributing to its eventual success. Charles Bronson, the film's leading man, was known for his stoic demeanor. However, behind the scenes, he was quite the prankster. One day, he filled a fake spider with fake blood and placed it on co-star Stuart Margolin's lap, causing quite a stir. Vincent Gardenia, who played the NYPD detective, was a method actor. He would often wander around set in character, even when the cameras weren't rolling. This led to some humorous moments, as the cast and crew never knew when he might pop up, ready to interrogate them. The film's production was not without its challenges. The original choice for the role of the vigilante, Jack Lemmon, had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. The film also faced backlash for its violent content, with some critics arguing it glorified vigilantism. Despite these hurdles, the cast and crew persevered. They worked tirelessly to bring the story to life, even if it meant dealing with the occasional practical joke or method actor. In the end, their hard work paid off, as Death Wish became a cult classic, solidifying Bronson's status as an action star. In 1974, a film now considered a classic of its genre was released, Death Wish. The studio behind it, United Artists, selected Michael Winner as director due to his success with gritty, violent action films such as The Mechanic, Scorpio, and The Stone Killer, all of which also featured Charles Bronson. The film's first sequel, Death Wish Roman II, didn't arrive until 8 years later, in 1982. One interesting behind-the-scenes fact about Death Wish is that Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, best known for his role in Welcome Back, Kotter, played an uncredited mugger in the film. Despite some confusion, it was not Denzel Washington in the role. Winner's experience with Bronson and his ability to direct action-packed films made him an ideal choice for Death Wish. The film was a success, and its legacy can still be felt today. As for the sequel, fans had to wait almost a decade for its release, but the original film's impact was undeniable. Released in 1974, Death Wish, directed by Michael Winner, left an indelible mark on the film industry. This classic introduced a new brand of urban thriller, focusing on vigilante justice. The movie, based on Brian Garfield's novel, sparked debate about violence and gun control, which has continued to this day. The film's protagonist, Paul Kersey, played by Charles Bronson, became an archetype for future anti-heroes. His transformation from an ordinary man to a vigilante resonated with audiences, inspiring a wave of similar characters in later films. Death Wish also significantly influenced the action and thriller genres. Its gritty realism and exploration of urban decay set the stage for many future films. The movie's unique blend of action, drama, and social commentary can be seen in various subsequent productions. Following the success of Death Wish, 4 sequels were released, further solidifying its place in film history. The franchise's enduring popularity has also inspired numerous remakes and reinterpretations, including a 2018 version starring Bruce Willis. Moreover, the film's theme song, composed by Herbie Hancock, gained widespread recognition and added to the movie's cultural impact. The haunting, minimalist piece became a classic in its own right, and is often associated with the film's themes of violence and revenge. In conclusion, Death Wish has significantly shaped the film industry through its innovative storytelling, iconic characters, and exploration of societal issues. Its influence can be traced through numerous films and genres, making it a lasting and important part of cinematic history. Did you watch Death Wish when it first came out in 1974? This classic film certainly left an impression on many moviegoers, sparking conversations about vigilante justice and self-defense. We'd love to hear your personal experiences and memories related to this movie. How did Death Wish affect you? Did it influence your perspective on cinema or shape your thoughts on the themes it explored? Share your stories with us in our community. If you were impacted by this movie, please like this post, share your memories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic explorations. Let's engage in a lively discussion about this influential film and how it has resonated over the years.